Hi everyone, welcome to the online classes of Sri Ram Public School, and this is your English teacher with the channel I Learn from YouTube. So first of all, those who have not already joined the channel, please do it. Subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell so that you get awesome contents each and every week. So for today, what we are going to do is we are going to take a look at some of the points that you can use while writing in board examinations. Now I'm focusing this solely on English. Alright, class 10th, class 12th, class 10th and class 12th English. I'm focusing on that. But yeah, the points that I'm going to talk about, these will be helpful for other students as well. But I'm focusing on English right now. So most of the points will be as much beneficial to other students as well, or other subject as well. So the main content of today's video will be how to frame your answers properly so that you have the chance to get higher marks on that. How do you format it? What do you write at the beginning? What do you write in the middle? What do you write at the end? So those are the critical things that determine the worth of your answer and the worth of your knowledge, how structural you can be. So if you are defining your answer, structuring it in a very proper manner, the person who is checking the paper will have an understanding that yes, this student has worked. So that means the positive approach will be there while he's checking your papers, and you'll get more marks from it. So it's very simple like that. So there are also lots of other points. We'll go through one by one. So first one, reading section. Right, reading section, you get simple questions, unseen passages, and it can be time consuming. So the first 15 minutes that you get before you get the answer sheet, you get a time of 15 minutes. Those are those are really valuable to you, because in those 15 minutes what you can do is you can read the unseen passage entirely and understand as well. So that in that 15 minutes, don't go crazy over each and every section. Just focus. Alright, focus on section A and section B as well. But more focus should be done on section A because it has unseen passages, so you need to focus on that. Utilize that 15 minutes in a proper manner. It will make a huge difference in your marks, right? So you need to have a plan, a structural plan on how to write or how to start even. Okay, so let's get into point number 1, how to present your answers. So in my opinion, as I've checked CBSE class 12 answer sheets before, and I checked about 200 or 300 answer sheets. In those answer sheets, at least there were at least half or even more than half answer sheets were there with lots of problems, and it was the same problem with every student, right? So what I'm talking about is the answers are jumbled everywhere. Don't do that. You need to form a particular structure in which you go through section A, finish that, and section B, finish that, and section C. That's my opinion, because I have checked a lot of answer sheets of board examination for class 12, right? So that is how I am telling you with experience on you should rather go for sequential movement. Okay, now you might be saying that what if we get stuck in section A, or what if we get stuck in section B or something like that. So the reason behind it is that section B can be time consuming as well. Alright, but before your exam starts, you can give a mock test yourself. Download a bit like 1 or 2 sample papers from the internet, and then just go through it like you're going through in the examination. So what happens is, if you practice that, you will get the idea of how much time you need in section A, how much time you need in section B. So after doing that, that will be your strategy. So it will be very easy for you after that to attempt all 3 sections in a sequential manner, and that will make the examiner very happy, because he or she does not have to go through all your answers. One answer is in the first page, other answer question number 2 in the last page. It's not good. It's not, viable option, because students can do better than that, and that is structure, the one that I've explained to you. Practice a lot before, so you will have the actual command over the time, so that will be better for you in getting more marks. So assigning the time will be our first point. Assigning the time limit to each and every section. What you're going to do in the first 15 minutes. What are you going to do in the first hour? What are you going to do in the hour following that? So you have to be structurally planned before you attempt. So I think it will be very viable if you attempt section C at the end. Now, why I'm saying that you can attempt section C at the end, because in section C you usually have questions that you are aware about. That means you know the kind of questions that you have in front of you. So basically it will be the easiest section of all, because you are familiar with what questions have been asked. But in unseen passage and in writing section, you are not aware of what you were going to be asked in the paper. But now in section C, you will be a lot familiar with the answers. So that is why it is better if you do that in the end, maintaining the sequence of answering, which is important and which will be extremely beneficial for you in getting more marks. Also, when you do that, when you jumble up your answer, it actually irritates the person who is taking the paper, and he or she might get more strict, and maybe you can lose some marks, right? So basically that's it. Now the next thing that we are going to talk about is how do you actually start writing your answers. And remember, we are doing this for English currently, but it might be helpful for others as well. So let's see. You need to have a technique that we have already established while writing your answers. Your answers should be in your own words, and keep it short and precise. When you answer in your own words, what it will show is it will show confidence. The person who is checking the paper, the evaluator, alright, he will or she will think that if you are capable of writing one answer in your own words, then that means you are a very good student. That means you know about what you're writing. So you have gained the confidence of the examiner or the evaluator. That means he will be considering your answer as better than the rest of the other answers that he or she might have. Next is using appropriate words, because it is extremely important to define your knowledge. As I already told you, it is similar to the first one, like using appropriate words and answering in your own words. So you need to focus on that. You need to use appropriate words in any answers, and also take care of the word limit, grammatical accuracy, and spellings. So don't just go to 100 km/h or something like that, because you know the answer. Don't do that. You need to cool down, and you need to think whether you are writing correct or not. So next point, for answers which are a bit long, let's say upwards of 4 marks, all right, 4, 5, 6, long answer kind of questions. Basically, that kind of question, how you can attempt is you have to divide the answer in 3 segments. Understood? If it's for 6 marks, think about it. The question is for 6 marks. Your answering structure will be 3 paragraphs. In 3 paragraphs. Now how will you start? You will start with an introduction. You will follow it with the content, and you will end it up with the conclusion. See how neat that sounds, right? How clear and how easy it will be for the paper checker to read your answers. It has to be neat, and it has to be precise. All right, You can't write your own story or whatever you feel like writing, but follow this format. In any question that is beyond 4 marks, let's say 5, 6, 7, whatever, in grammar section 2, when you're writing articles and all that, of course you'll have more paragraphs than 3 paragraphs, but it follows the same format. An introduction to the content, an introduction to the topic, and in the middle the body, which is the crux of your answer, which is the most important part, and the conclusion. Conclusion will basically be an opinion that you have, or if in case it's a literary question from literature section, your conclusion might be controlled by the story. According to the story, the author believes. According to the story, the writer believes. That will be a conclusion now, because now you're talking literature. Alright, so we are concluding with the author's thought or the writer's thought. In that manner, it will be fine. So, introduction, conclusion, introduction, content, and conclusion. In your content, you will specify exactly what the question is asking. Let's say there's a question there's a question asking, is technology good or bad? So what I'll do, it's for 6 marks. What I'll do is, I will choose one side, of course, first. Let's say if I choose, yeah, technology is a good thing for us. Now I will structure my answer. The first paragraph I will just explain in a very simple term what technology means. So I might write, technology has made human lives easier, and those kind of, we don't have to do anything ourselves now, right? It's very easy. We have computers, we have calculators, we have television and everything which keeps us entertaining. So those will be my introduction. Now my main content, why technology is good. I can talk about how much lives it has saved. How much lives it has saved. Let's say, that in defense there are drones, there are fighter jets and everything. That's also technology. So instead of sending human beings to war, what if you send robots to war, or tank and everything? That's also technology. So we can say it's kind of protecting our country as well, and it is also saving a lot of lives. So that will be the focus of my answer, the content of my answer. And then the conclusion. In the conclusion part, I will be starting like this. Okay, so after going through the above paragraph, we can simply, or in this case, you are writing the specific answer, so okay, after having an understanding of everything I've stated, I come to the conclusion that technology has been and will be good for technology will be good for everyone. Got it? So that is how that is how I write my answers. And not only these tips and tricks to write the answers properly, there are some mistakes that students do regularly. I don't understand why they do it, but they do it regularly, and I've seen so many students doing that. And it should be avoided. Now, the things that I'm going to tell you is the things that you should avoid in examination. First one, the mistake that student makes, not reading the question properly. You just look at the question and you see one or two words that you are familiar with. So now you think, okay, I know this answer, and you just go at it right away. But they don't read the proper question. Let's say, for example, how did the snake escape the pit and how it got there? That is the question. But let's say a student reads only half. Okay, how the snake got there? He knows that answer. So the moment he sees, he tries to answer it, but he fails to realize there is a connecting question to that. If you don't answer the connecting question, you are only getting half marks. So read the question properly, because at the end of questions you will see, according to your opinion, is it a yes or no, that kind of thing. Be careful. And yeah, as I already mentioned, don't misuse those 15 minutes. It is very important, especially in English, right? You can use those 15 minutes to basically solve the section A part of your question. So it's very beneficial, very useful. Don't just stumble across and don't just try to look all the questions. Don't just try to do that. Just focus on section A or B. Okay, you can do that. So you will be knowing the answer before you get the answer sheet. So that will save you a lot of time. Writing unplanned answers. That is a huge problem. What I mean by writing unplanned answers is that, let's say there's a question based on points. So you have to write answer on points. Let's say the question is asking mention some points why this or that happened, and you're writing, okay, the following points support or justify my answer. And point number 1 point, you write, the cost of SIM card is decreasing nowadays. Second point, you write, the cost of mobile phones is also decreasing nowadays. Now, do you see here what the problem is? The problem is that both the points belong to the same answer, same question. But which one is more important? Do you think the SIM card is important or the mobile phone is important? Or what led to the increase and decrease in price? If the price of mobile phone decreases, then obviously people will buy it more. They will also buy more SIM card. Exactly, for if you're a new user, you will not just buy a phone, you will buy a SIM card as well. But if the price of SIM cards decrease, will you buy a phone? Of course not, because we can't compare the price, right? So if the price of SIM card decreases, there is no stimulus to that. Nothing will happen. So that is not important. So point one should be the cost of mobile phones has gone down. Point two should be the cost of SIM card has also gone down, not the other way around. So plan before writing your answers. Plan everything. Don't just rush into it. And the next one is handling the sheet to the examiner without checking your answers. That is the most common mistake. You just hand over your answer and you don't even check. Sometimes you might have missed something. Sometimes you might have written the wrong thing that will eventually come in your mind while you're writing the answers. But if you don't check that, that means you don't have the chance of getting more marks. That's not a possibility anymore. Alright, so this one, what I'm going to tell you, it's a misconception, or this is an ignorant thought. Some students, try to justify that it's true. But let me assure you, it's not. Some students, they think that if they write the same answer twice, of course, one answer will be in page number 1, the other answer will be in page number 10 or something like that. So, and most of they think that, yeah, we will get more marks for that. We'll get marks for both the answers. But it's not like, that's not how it works. You can't fool the board. The board has been taking examination for so many years. So don't you think that's a little bit naive to do that? Because let's say, in case of OMR sheets, if you try that, it will be rejected immediately because it's computerized. So both your answers will be cancelled. Let's talk about subjective. Now, while you are writing the subjective answers, let's say if you have written the first answer in second page, you got marks for it. Okay, so after checking the second answer that you have written, the invigilator or the examiner who is checking your answer will immediately write that point in the first page of your section. You won't see that. It happens after you finish your examination. They apply a sheet on top of that with boxes on marks to every question. I'll show you that. Alright, so you can see all this, right? This page will be pasted later after you submit your papers and the exam is over. What the CBSE people do, they take off the page with your roll number and everything, and then they put on a number and then paste this sheet on top of it. So how does it work? How can I say that if you write the same answer twice, sometimes the examiner might give you extra marks because he or she might not realize that? It's impossible. As you can see, there are numbers here: 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on, right? So what examiners do and what I do, as I've checked this paper last year, CBSE board, class 12. So after checking every question or every answer, I write down the marks like this. So if I check question number 5 and I check your answer, so I'll write the marks immediately. I'll write 8. So let's say you have written the same in question number 10 here. So I'll check that, and after checking that, let's say okay, I also give you 8 marks on that. But to record that marks, when I come back here, I can see that you have already done it before here. So it is impossible to happen. Alright, I hope you guys understand how it works. So that's it for today. I'll come with some more content in the next class, so hope you guys liked it and you learned something from it. So again, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification on so that you don't miss the awesome content that I post. Alright, so that's it for today, guys. I'm signing off on this note, and then we'll be back another with a new video. Peace.